Recorded Books presents Partners in Lime, Seaside Cafe Mysteries, Book 6, by Bree Baker, narrated by Thérèse Plummer. Chapter 1. I smiled at the sound of seashell wind chimes jangling over my front door. "Welcome to Sun, Sand, and Tea," I called, waving to the cafe's newcomers from my position behind the cash register. It was nearly 7 o'clock, closing time, and the final rush of folks were arriving to pick up to-go orders and after-dinner sweets. I handed my current customer her change, then lifted my eyes to welcome the next in line. My seaside iced tea shop was a favorite of locals at any hour, but I'd noticed a definite pattern in the 2 years since I'd opened. Folks liked to have lunch on the decks of my historic Victorian home and in the dining room overlooking the sea. I'd done my best to play up the fantastic location and majestic views by showcasing the abundance of windows and carrying the beachy color scheme inside. The efforts were a hit, and the place stayed busy through the afternoon most days. But after 5, the bulk of my regulars purchased snacks and drinks to go, then peppered the beach and boardwalk outside, enjoying my culinary handiwork along with the balmy ocean breeze. "Hey, Mrs. Waters," I said, recognizing the general store owner's wife and my former babysitter's mom. "I've got your cookies right here." I plucked her bag from a lineup of ready orders, then passed the treats her way. 1 dozen colonial cutouts and a bag of Her Majesty's Munch Mix. I scanned the receipt, then lifted a finger. And I turned briefly to retrieve a chilled container of my best-selling brew from the refrigerator. 1 quart of Grandma's old-fashioned sweet tea. "Oh, bless you," she said, extending a stack of cash in my direction, eyes glued to the bag of goodies before her. "I'm addicted to these cookies. Please tell me they aren't going away after opening night." I grinned. I'd started to learn a thing or two about sales since opening my shop, and one of those was that people loved theme and limited-time items, especially when those items had adorable names. My cutouts and munch mix were 2 more in a long line of examples. Both were named in honor of The Lost Colony, a historical outdoor drama preparing for its 84th season. The Roanoke Historical Society organized the massive annual production, which required more than 100 people to fill roles from actors to stage crew. The show's popularity made both recipes impossible to keep on the shelves. "Mr. Waters and I have season tickets, you know," she said, looking immediately younger and wistful. "He took me to opening night on our first date, and we've been together ever since. Haven't missed one in 43 years. "I love that," I said, passing her change and receipt. "I'm taking some refreshments to the cast and crew after I close." She beamed. "Lovely. Oh, how lucky they are. I'd better not keep you." The Lost Colony was a big deal for locals of Charm and all the other little towns sprinkled along the barrier islands of North Carolina, known to many as the Outer Banks. The play depicted the story of the lost colony at Roanoke, where more than 100 English men, women, and children landed in the 16th century. Established an English settlement, then vanished without a trace soon after. The settlers' disappearance was a 450-year-old mystery that still baffled today. Some folks considered the show the heart of the islands. I didn't disagree. Who could resist a good mystery? My ancestors arrived in Charm about 100 years after the Roanoke settlers, but thankfully they didn't vanish. Instead, Swan women had settled in and stayed. We were woven into the fabric of the town now, rumors, legends, and ghost stories included. I hated the whispers about my family as a kid, but I'd grown quite proud of my heritage as an adult, quirky bits and all. My great-aunt Fran stepped into view as Mrs. Waters took her leave. "Everly, thank goodness. I thought I might miss you. I'm running late, and I believe my head has literally fallen off sometime during the course of my day," Aunt Fran announced, hoisting her giant handbag onto the counter. "Anything I can do to help?" I asked. She pushed a long salt and pepper braid off her narrow shoulder and sighed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?